Well, hey, folks, welcome to the Michael and Nancy Live Show. We're
Hey, y'all.
half a minute late, early. Good to see you. Nancy's in here with me for a little while. She's had a rough day, but she's feeling somewhat better than she was last night.
Still hurting.
Yeah, still hurting. Never go anywhere. Hey, Frostbite. Good to see ya, Jeff. Yeah, she's had her feet up in the air most of the day. Southeast. Or did I say hey to Jeff? Hi, Jeff.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah. Frostbite, you got a few minutes. I didn't even think about it. You'd like to come up and talk a little bit about protecting your coins when you send them out from getting scanned. I'll put a link in here for you.
There it is.
Okay, let me know what.
We'll run across.
Oh, we'll sing it while you got a chance. Hey, Bait the Hook.
Okay.
Hey, Passion, Jessica. Bait the Hook. Don't about that too. Don't worry about it. It's on me. Oh, did you? Well, thank you. Jessica's in the house.
Away, stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love
Cool.
that old cross where the dearest and best for
Great.
a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my throne.
Oh boy.
These at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown.
Thank you, Nancy. Cash and carry. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the LCSs are not wanting to buy anything to see if I guess to see if the price comes down. That's the only thing I can think of.
Thank you, Frostbite. He's the one that asked for this.
Oh, okay. This joke says, "Wow, Nancy, beautiful voice." Woo!
And I've been looking for this little book. Finally found it.
Cool. Glad to hear that.
Oh,
You ready, Frostbite? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, let me get over there on my email. I'll do that. You can't get it out of the chat. No, I guess not. Bump, bump. There you go. It's already to your in your email.
Thank you, Southeast. I'm not talking too long, right?
Hey, Raz. Yeah, we talk to coins all the time, and we hug them and squeeze them and give them names. Hey, Ellie.
Hey, Ellie.
Sure, let's let Frosty do his thing about the. I'm trying to remember what they call that thing on the bar on the back where they can pick it up and scan it and tell just what's in the box. There he is. We can have you up late after that. There you go.
How are you?
Alrighty.
My bad semester, I wasn't prepared for this, but that's okay. I've done this a number of times, so I can do this without issue. You guys are going to be the first to see two very interesting signs here at the very bottom. These
I'm having a
ones
little trouble. I'm having a little trouble hearing you there, brother. Yeah, RFID. Low audio, Southeast says.
How about that?
Sounds really good.
Okay.
All right.
I had my audio turned down from this morning.
I think you guys are going to enjoy this. I really do. So go ahead, Southeast, and tell us about the, what do they call that? The E something or other. Good memory, right? I can show you what it is, though, right? Nope. Is that the one? It's that. You said that on the back there, right there. They can scan
That
that
is
darn
it
thing.
indeed, yes.
And they can scan that darn thing and tell what's inside your box that you're sending or getting.
So
Shipping.
I am going to set my phone right here, and you have to excuse it's dirty. If I set my phone on this box, you can see that something comes up. And when I touch it, obviously I have to show my face real quick.
Yeah. Would you do me a favor,
when
please?
I touch it,
Would you do me a favor,
this
please?
actually, what's that?
Tell me how to put you up by yourself so we can see that screen.
So see our two pictures. If you go to my picture, there are two lines that point to the corners. Click on that 2 line.
2 lines or 4 lines?
Okay. Where it's set up in the upper right corner. Okay, so you see where my hand is? Your finger?
Yeah.
Take your mouse and go up in this area. You'll see a line that points to the 2 corners.
Oh.
Click on that. It'll go big.
The 2 arrows?
Yep. There you go.
There we go. Gotcha. There you go. Thank you.
Let's turn this back up. Okay, and so you've seen I scanned that just a minute ago. And actually, let me turn this down just a little bit on brightness. so that it shows up better for you all. Okay. All right. So you've seen that I scanned this through here, and what this is it's a 1952 dime, right? This is a $45 coin. Not expensive, MS64, not a big deal. But if I turn it and I scan, and I'm doing everything upside down, then you'll see another one appears. And if I click that, it'll open a new one. Now this, see, that's the same dime, okay? But if I rotate this, my camera's on autofocus and I hate autofocus. You'll see that this is actually the 1853, okay? And this will show you that it's a $190 coin. I have to turn something off real quick, just to give you a second. I
Okay.
hate it when it does this stuff. Because it's set to autofocus and I don't want it on autofocus.
Yeah. There's a good question. Southeast says, do you have a scanner app on an Android?
For PCGS, these, you shouldn't have to do it. It should automatically appear. Yeah, I'm not using an app.
Okay. Huh.
Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to do it out of there either. So I have to open it up the hard way. Hold on just a sec.
Hey, Invisible Ranch.
I've got to open something and set my settings. I hadn't prepared for this, so my lighting is not what I would want it to be.
Yeah.
So I'll adjust this real quick, but nothing's in focus. So I've got to wait for this to come up.
Yep, goes right through the box. Ice cream. Alrighty. Get more and more in there too.
I've almost got this set up. I apologize for the delay on this. Okay. So I don't want the focus. I want a manual focus.
Hey, Neil.
Ah, there we go.
All
So
right.
much better.
Hey,
All right.
Raspberry.
And then let's
I'm
adjust.
still cramping, but it's a little easier than it was last night.
Crafty.
Okay. Now that's a little bit better. Now you're going to actually see kind of what I'm doing. You got a much clearer image.
Yeah.
All right. So what I was showing you guys was that I could scan this. Now, it doesn't matter if it's this. I'm going to pull out the coins here. Again, it's this item right here. Okay. And I am doing this upside down because, again, I'm not
Thank
set
you,
up for this.
Raspberry.
Okay. It doesn't count these ones. It's the one that has this logo on it. Okay.
Yeah. Let me show them big time. Oh, go ahead. Can't.
That's okay. They can see it. I mean, I've got them both sitting right there.
All right.
So it's that particular logo. It's not the one that's here. Okay. Now, I've got a really, really, really neat coin. This just came in from Jack Young. Do you know anything about peace dollars?
A little bit.
1928.
High. Expensive.
How about an MS65 plus?
Ooh, even more.
$8,000 coin, $9,000 coin, depending upon what's going on.
Yeah.
This is a counterfeit.
Ooh.
See that?
Yeah.
Watch this. Phone so everybody can see it. Put it
Yep.
to the logo, and what happened? It doesn't
Wow.
scan. Watch this.
Doesn't-
Right? Put it to the logo, it scans. This one does not scan.
Hey, Amy.
We know that this coin is a counterfeit. This came in from Jack Young. I'm going to be talking about these two coins another time. But these are some extremely good teaching tools, and we'll be learning about those in future episodes. So make sure you guys are paying attention. But basically, what I did is I did some research, and this is nothing new. We knew that they scanned, but what people weren't tracking. Well, I shouldn't say what people weren't tracking. What was being identified was that
Yep.
you could scan these through the package. Okay. So if I put these in here, right, and I wrap this up and I put my tape on it, do everything, okay, and I set this down. Whoops. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's give it even more stuff to scan through. Okay. If I put this here and I run this over the top of it, it's going to scan. And then again, you get the information of what's inside here. And this is the 50 cent. This is the dime. Okay, the 1952. Now, I'm going to keep this in front. We'll open this all up. Set that off to the side. Okay, pull it out. And again, that's exactly what was being scanned. So, and I said dime, but I meant Franklin. So through packaging, and earlier when I did the video, I showed it through different boxes. Again, this is a package that's going to Mad Stacker. Mad Stacker's the one who won this. And I actually have the technology that I'm going to show you guys tonight, which are these little things. These are Faraday stickers. Okay. But you can also get onto Amazon and you can pull these things up. And these things are Faraday rolls. Faraday, Faraday. And they're this metallic piece, and then you just cut off what you need. I bought a number of these, tested them, showed people what's going on, and you will be able to put this over the top. Now, you can't just set it inside, because you'll see, okay, I've got this here. Okay, I'm going to lay this down so you guys can see this. And I'm just going to lay this over the top of it, okay? Now, it's laid over the top, yes. But if I come over this, you have to be careful because you can still, you can still sometimes get a signal through because it's not over the entire label. So if I turn it, and again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can actually get a signal through here. So what I recommend is you put them directly over the label. In this particular case, maybe the phone's low on battery, or it's not scanning, or it's not picking something up. I'm not sure what the situation is. Oh, there it is. So you can see that even when I do that, it's still coming through when it's covered up. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. But there's a couple different solutions. And I chopped my finger up if you're wondering what this nasty Band-Aid is. What I do is, and you don't have to stick them right on here. You can actually put them in plastic. But I just cover up the entirety of that label. And I mean entire label. Okay. And they just sit here like this. Now you can put them in plastic bags. You can do all of this stuff. You don't have to use the Faraday label. You can use aluminum foil. The problem with utilizing aluminum foil is that if you wrap them heavy in aluminum foil, you might trip the security for the UPS or USPS, because back in the day, a lot of people used to use foil to hide things like money and stuff. They wouldn't be able to scan and see what it is. And so you don't want to trip the system. So basically just covering up this label will prevent, and it won't. Let me clear this one so that you see it's not scanning. It will not scan. That'll scan the one next to it here, which doesn't have the RFID shielding, but you can have that shield. Now, again, we have the Faraday tape, so you can take and you have to actually cut this one. Unfortunately, where's my knife? Do I have my knife up here somewhere? I should have it somewhere, but my desk is a total mess. Okay. And this stuff doesn't cut easy. It doesn't tear, but you can also pull off just some of the Faraday tape. You can pull this off. Oh, for heaven's sakes, come on. You can tell it's not liking me. Okay. And then again, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm not folding it over all the way, but you can just see I'm covering it up. And then what'll happen, again, we'll clear that tag and then we'll put over the top of it. You see it doesn't scan. And so I just wanted to find methods that worked, that were very inexpensive. 200 labels like this is $10. A roll of this is $10, and you can get it shipped via Amazon. You don't have to have them on your slabs all the time. The only thing you really need to worry about is if you're shipping the ones that have this label on them. Okay. So that's the one you're looking at. It doesn't have to be any other label. It doesn't have to be any other slab. It's just the one that has this logo on it. And that's the element that I wanted people to be aware of. Now, I've called the different manufacturers to see if we could get special pricing and stuff, and nobody compares just to your normal Amazon stuff. And I was very clear, I'm not profiting off of this. There is no connection. When I give people the location to get this, I'm not telling anybody a URL. I'm saying go to Amazon.com and pull up Faraday tape. Right? I'm not trying to profit off of this. This is just me trying to help the community and make sure that they have the information that they need. We don't have to worry about it with any other slabs. Okay, I don't have to worry about it with my NGC slabs. So I could slab this, no problem. What I do want to do is I do want to make sure that I'm not being dumb about my labels. I don't want to put the words stacking. I don't want... can a magnet destroy RFID? Probably if it's enough, but you don't have to. But you don't want to utilize the words when you're shipping stuff. You don't want to utilize the word silver, gold, coins, platinum, palladium, precious metals. You don't want to put numismatics. You don't want to put a lot of that kind of information on your label. Work with your post office if you have a PO box, and tell them that you want an alternate name, and then they will give you an alias, or you can work out an alias with them, and then you give that alias to people, and that's what you ship to. It could be Harvey's peanut brittle house, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter, as long as your post office is aware that that's you. It's on your post office box or it's on your home address, then you're fine. But you do want to make sure that those are protected. Southeast, yeah, I mean, I got one right here, PCGS. There's no item on it. So again, it's not all of them do. The gold shields do. Okay. But not all gold shields have that. Some of them have the QR code. Okay.
Ellie being bad girl again.
Yeah.
So
Daggone, if we didn't
very,
learn something.
well, and so what I want you guys to be very aware of, okay? Never, ever, ever tell anybody in stream or in chat what somebody utilizes as their alias. You just tell people what to look for. So don't ever share. I know, and again, not chastising anybody. It's just important that people understand there are things that we do without thinking about them that criminals look for. And it's really important to make sure that we look at those things. For instance, SD Bullion, it doesn't come from SD Bullion, but I'm not going to tell you what it comes as. If you guys have ever received something from SD Bullion, you should know that. But you don't want to share that, because if a criminal gets that, then they're going to know what's in that package. Even if a package doesn't scan, don't give them tips that's going to tell them what's going on. Also, one of my most important tips when it comes to shipping is if you're shipping something, please make sure that you put a waybill or an invoice in the package and that you have one on your person, what they paid for it. These are coins in many cases. And the post office says that they will only warrant the face value of those coins. However, there is provision for collectible numismatics, but you have to have that clearly documented. How much it was spent on, Tiger and I had a situation where we were doing this and we were able to get it done, and I was able to get the coin that came in. It took 6 to 8 weeks. But again, it's one of those things. Yeah. And you know what I tell them? And this is, somebody else told me this, and I was like, that's brilliant. And I used it years ago. I do saltwater aquariums. I have a really nice saltwater aquarium. And my post office, the lady who does the delivery, she's kind of like the chief in charge of our area. And she would know when some live package came. Well, when I got my a silver shipment in, it was about, I think, 30 ounces or 40 ounces of silver, 4 10-ounce bars, if I remember right. She was like, this isn't fish stuff. And I was like, you're going to think I'm really funny. But what's that? I said, it's rocks. I'm looking for the kind that you crack open and they have the little amethyst stuff in there. I find that really fascinating, and I'm trying to study them. I've got a whole bunch coming over the next 6, 8, 12 months. And she was like, that's interesting. She's like, what made you pick up on that? It's like, well, I like amethysts. They're pretty. They're my daughter's birthstone.
And mine.
And I just wanted to find out. Yeah, geodes. That's exactly right. And so she was like, oh, and I said, so you could probably expect a couple of packages. I said, but I don't put rocks on there because, people don't take care of stuff and I don't want them to come ever. So we'll use different names and stuff for it. But usually it's going to be these rocks and stuff like that because I'm looking for certain minerals or things like that, just to try and learn a little bit about the hobby. And she knows I do all sorts of stuff. But yeah, it's funny. You just come up with something, talk with them about it. And if you have a really good postal carrier, they're going to know just because that's what they do. They know pretty quickly what's in most packages. So wrapping it properly, making sure it's heavily wrapped and secured and, in maybe a little bit bigger package or box that it needs to be in. If you're sending a single coin and it's really light, throw something else in there that rattles, that sound, those little kid toys, they're the puzzles. and you don't move them around. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you have to move them around to get the pattern to show up. Throw one of those in there. They're like 89 cents,
Mhm.
and they shake that. Say, well, what are you shipping? It's like puzzles. And then have one on you and show them. It's like puzzles, and they rattle and they shake the package. Like, oh, cool. It's like I send these whenever I'm sending packages of stuff like that to my channel. If I find out they have kids, I always send them the thing. All of my packages, well, I shouldn't say all of them, but they either contain. Well, here I'll show you. They either contain. So this is the tape that somebody won. So here. Right. And when I ask what that is, it's like, oh, I have a channel and I keep my channel rounds. Right. And I show them this and I'm like, it's like, oh, I have a channel. And so I do my, United States, Texas thing. I never show them the other side. I'm like, can I get one of those? That's, well, I actually have one. I'm giving it to somebody. I'm going to meet them for coffee, but I can bring one back by. And then I bring them one like Tigers or something that says, fence like this. Right here, and I give them one of these. It's like fence sitter, and they're like, "What's this?" It's like, "Oh, I partner with somebody named Tiger, and that's this is his channel, so we do that." But again, if I give them this, they're going to see coins on there. They're going to know, right? But I always put something in there, and if it's a big package like this and it rattles a little bit, like there's something loose inside there. Even if they feel that, they're going to go, that feels more like tape than anything. So they're probably sending some tape supplies. There's things that you can do to kind of lead people off the beaten track. The big one is just not documenting coins and stacker and those kind of things.
What would you suggest if you had to ship it by UPS? And they want to know what's going there. I mean, we need to know what's in there. Good night, Southeast.
See you, Southeast.
Going.
Oh, he ain't going?
Nope.
Okay.
Amy said goodbye to him. He said, I ain't going, Amy.
So bait the hook. That's a great discussion point. If I'm going to be shipping a coin, I'm going to be shipping it between two pieces of cardboard. It gives it a little bit more rigidity, and does that. So if I'm going to be sending something small, then I will do that, or I will put it in a flip like this, and then I will tape the flip to the card or whatever it is, so that it lays flat. With it taped across, the coin won't come out of there. It may shift back and forth, but the coin won't come out because it's laying flat on the card. So I will always ship a coin. I'll never, ever, ever ship a loose coin.
Bolt screws.
Yeah, but if you're going to do it like this, make sure the tape goes all the way around, right? And make sure it comes all the way to the edge of the card. So for instance, let's say this is my card and I put this like this. I would want the tape to go all the way around this way and all the way around this way, right? Because I want to make sure that it's not going to just pop out the end of the tape. So I just want to make sure that I do that. So that's how I package things like that. I don't use one of these to ship a single coin, unless it's, over $100. I will use heavier quality of these. These are just the little shipping bags. I'll use a heavier quality of one of those, and then I will fold it and I will tape that to the card or to the package that I'm going to be shipping out. I may use something like this and then put that in an envelope, or take the envelope and put it in something like this and then fold it over and send it like this, where I can still utilize it as postal, because I can tape this up. Put stamps on here and send it without paying $6 for this. So you have to be smart. I have tape on here because if you're going to be sticking something in the package, it's always good to tape it to the inside of the package so it doesn't move around. That'll help with shifting and stuff as well. But there's a lot of different things that you can do. What's up, Steve? Sorry I called you Steve looking for silver this morning.
Hey, Nick. Hey, Steve.
But that's my spiel. That's kind of like being aware of what's going on. And again, folks, if you ever get one of these that doesn't scan, call PCGS and say, I have a coin. Here's the images. This is what's going on. It will not scan. They will pull up the information. They'll look at the images and they'll tell you that's not a good slab. And then you have the option. They can tell you to destroy it, or they'll have you send it into them. Work that out with them. In these particular cases, these were found by Jack Young. They are going to be discussed and talked about it. He's already written a article about both of these coins, but he's told me, he says, I really like what you do, and I want to send you something that will be a good teaching tool, especially now that you've shown us about this RFID. You can also let people know that if they have one that doesn't scan, they need to be a little bit aware of that. So if you ever are trying to do this, scan that.
That was really interesting. Good information, Frostbite. Appreciate it.
And what I'm trying to do, and you guys will see this, and I mean, you guys know me. I tell stories. I provide you guys history. I try to do funny dad jokes. I want people to remember that this is a hobby. But it's also a very seriously expensive hobby. And if you make some really common mistakes, it can cost you tons of cash. And I don't know about y'all. Hey, what's up, Nick? How you doing, brother? I don't know about you all, but there are some of these coins. Obviously, that one's counterfeit. We'll be talking about that one. But I can't, in good conscience, send a coin like this. This is real. MS63 Carson City 1883 Morgan. It's a $400 coin. I can't make dumb mistakes when I send this off because I don't have $400 just to go buy another. Right? And I want to protect myself, but I also want to protect the buyer. If somebody buys something from me, and I don't sell, I'm not a coin shop, right? If I'm selling something, it's because I'm trying to trade for something that I really want, i.e. something like this, right? And I owe the person that I'm selling to every possible protection. I owe that to them. Not just me. My protection is paramount, right? I worry about my finances. I pay attention to what's going on. But, well, yeah, and Neil, again, exactly, right? What happens if I have a coin that I can't find again? Oh, here, let's talk about this one. You want to find a really interesting coin? Cool, let's talk about that. Folks also need to protect the slab coins with tape that covers the QR. Well, you can't scan that through the package. So again, we'll show that I actually have one right here. Okay. And so the QR code, okay, if I just put my phone over the top of this, it's not going to pick it up. because there's no RFID technology. The only way that's going to work is if I actually open my camera and point to that, and it detects it, and then I can actually go to pcgs.com and pull up the information on this 1858 XF45 seated. Okay, this is a seated half. You'll see the information there. It's a $350 coin. Okay, so you do want to do your protections, but when you're packaged this, there's no way for me to scan that. There's no way for me to scan that. Oh, well, yeah, but you want to make sure you want to make sure that how do I say this? Do you have to do this with every slab? No. Okay, no, you don't. Do you have to do this with every package? No, obviously you don't. Because if I'm sending this, right, you can see these maples here. If I'm sending those, they're not scanning those. But these two coins right here are not silver. They're platinum. That's $3,000 worth of platinum right there. What am I going to do to safeguard this? I am going to be putting it in a box, double wrapped. It's probably going to be in here and then in here inside bubble wrap, taped, probably 400 pounds of tape on this thing, right? Like I'm going to do this, and I'm also going to request delivery receipts. I'm also going to request that I get a signature. I'm also going to request hand delivery, right? And so I'm going to put precautions into place that allow me the ability to say, this is going to be tracked at every point. If at any point it's lost along the way, UPS is required to investigate that. Now, if it goes to USPS or whatever, they still have to investigate that. But I get from door to door tracking. When I drop that off at the post office to the time it gets to that door, I am going to get those signatures. I'm going to get those delivery receipts. If I'm sending something like this, I'm sending that damn thing certified mail. And I'm going to insure it for $3,500. It's going to require a signature. It's going to be certified. And they're going to go, yeah, this is a really important thing, but nobody's going to take that thing. Because they track those things like hawks. So put protections in place if you're sending stuff of value. Right? Now, am I going to insure one of those for $100? Well, you know what? If I ship one of those, it's already covered by $100. I don't have to give it an insurance amount. So anything up to $80 or $90, you can do that. But you really want to watch and be careful with some of that stuff because, again, it's potentially problematic. Steve LaPointe, no one is monitoring that bait because of the government shutdown. The government shutdown doesn't affect every agency. The U.S. Postal Service, Department of Veteran Affairs, they work under different obligated funds. They are not funded through appropriations, not that type of appropriation. So the United States Parcel Service is not affected by this. Some of the investigator offices may have reduced staff, but they still are considered essential personnel. So they will still have people working. That is a critical infrastructure element. They won't cancel postal. They just won't do that. Yeah. So they get paid under different appropriations. It's like the U.S. Mint, right? They're self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Any other questions? And thank you guys for having me up. I always appreciate this.
Yeah, you're welcome. I thought it was a good way to get that information out into the community.
Yeah. So, Amy, veterans are appropriated a year in advance. So 2025 was appropriated in 2024. They're working 2026 appropriations now. They're always focused ahead of time. Where the VA gets into trouble is with their contracts. Their contracts are appropriated for the current fiscal year. Um, uh, it's just the way that they do things. And so if you're having something with a VA or maybe the DVA, it might be something a little bit different. But they're appropriated a year in advance to avoid these kind of things because, healthcare is critical. So, yeah.
Yep.
Well, and good till the end of October 2026, because the appropriations for the following year have already been done. We are already in a new fiscal year. We were in a new fiscal year October 1st. Yeah, so those appropriations were put into place the day furlough started. So VA is funded for a year. My leg is finally at its final stages of healing up. Holy cow, dude. That's been a long time, Nick. A long time. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to get into that discussion at all? I will leave that to you, Michael.
I missed that. I was trying to find something else there. And EBT food stamps may not be available in November if the government don't reach a deal to come back. Very sad.
No. Steve LaPointe's talking about the budget and the VA and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Okay. Well, again, it becomes political, so I just want to make sure that we set some guidelines on the discussion.
Yeah, set some guidelines.
Okay. I don't care what you think of administration or policy. Okay. I'm just going to tell you what I understand it to be. So just let's remember that when we're having this discussion. Okay. The president is, for all intents and purposes, everybody's president. Whether you like him or not, whether you agree with his policies, is what it is. Suck it up, buttercup. That's what happens. However, this budget situation has nothing to do with the president. The budget situation has everything to do with Congress. And so there are some concerns. What a lot of people don't realize is when you talk government, people forget to separate flesh and blood from government policy. See, a military member or a civilian government worker is bound by those policies. They are not those policies. Okay. And so when you look at the policies, the directives, the government worker is there to fulfill the executive, legislative, and judicial branches items. Okay. Now, are there bad eggs in government when you're talking about workers? There's bad eggs in the public sector. Mm-hmm. So you're talking apples and apples. It drives me, it's hard to get fired from that. Well,
hey, freaking.
Actually, hey, what's up, freaking awesome? It's actually not hard to get fired from the government. They changed that a few years ago. There are performance-based, there are reviews. They meet the requirement. But in many cases, it's just as hard to get fired from the public sector if you don't live in a right-to-work state. And if you don't want to fight and battle potential issues, you can also run into situations in the public sector that dwarf the government side. So it's not just a government issue. Now, 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was virtually impossible once you were a GS employee to get rid of that person. There were so many protections, but that's been gone for a number of years. As far as the budget, okay, 700,000 people within DOD alone, DOD only, or sorry, DOW, Department of War now. They have laid off basically 700,000 people.
Mm.
Now, what does that mean? Well, just because we work with the government doesn't mean we're all making 150, 180, 200,000 a year. There's a lot of people that are GS 3s and 5s that are making 28, 39, 45,000 a year. And so I want people to recognize and realize that when you talk about the government, clarify whether you're talking about finance, the people, the policy, because government's a big animal. It consists of a lot of things. And what we see a lot of times in the media is that there are generalizations made that make a lot of people look really bad. And all those people are trying to do is the best that they can for their country. There's a lot of red-blooded, red, white, and blue bleeding people that work for the government, and they want what's best for our nation. But again, like in Marsh, a lot of spending I would expect. Well, you have the same thing in the public sector. There's actually laws and stuff in place when it comes to that. But when you're talking fiscal, speak fiscal. I have a problem with the way the government handles its fiscal policies. Oh, okay, now we're not targeting the government people, we're targeting the government fiscal practices. What does that mean? Let's narrow that down a little bit more. $200 toilet seat, or is it the fact that you guys are frustrated that the national parks closed? What are we talking about when we're talking about that, right? Because everybody tries to use the same language to cover 50 different departments, and it doesn't work. So if I could urge you guys to do anything, when you're talking about the government, talk about the point that you're speaking of, okay? And again, yes, there are definite issues within people manipulating a system. But folks, it happens in the public sector too. And I'll guarantee you that those reviews get done just like Doge came through and did for the government. And a lot of those people have fixed books. You hear about it all the time. People embezzling from corporations, people fixing the book, doctoring the books, right? So there's a lot of things that people do in the public sector. But the reason government has its we have a microscope on the government. We look at everything. We want to know what's going on because we're so critical of it because of some of the things that have happened in the history. But be specific about what's happening. So I've seen Bait the Hook talking about the shutdown and stuff like that, right? There's a lot of people who don't have money that haven't been paid. And here next week, we're going on 4 weeks. They're not going to get a paycheck at the end of this week. They haven't worked for a month. They're not getting that paycheck. They got the one from 2 weeks ago because it was prior work, right? Government always runs 2 weeks behind. Most of the local businesses do the same, right? You work your week and then a week later you get paid. You work your week, a week later you get paid. You work your 2 weeks, 2 weeks later you get paid. However that is, right? Same basic cycles, the same basic structure exists in government. So what's going to happen is, yeah, there are some things and protections that have been put into place, and businesses go through and make sure that they take care of this stuff. But your standard government worker isn't laden with fraud, abuse, and neglect. There are some out there, yes, but it's not your standard person. So I just want to urge you when you guys talk about this to make sure you understand what you're talking about. And when you're talking to somebody about it, clarify. Right. And so make sure that you, when people say, well, I'm sick of government, what part? All of it. Well, that's a really bad thing because there's some really great parts of our government. There's some really neat people doing some amazing things. Can you give me a little bit more specific? Right. Yeah, exactly, Steve. 95% of the charity's money, 85% of it goes to covering administrative costs. Yeah, there are a lot of agencies that do that kind of stuff as well. But what's actually supposed to happen, right? You look at things like Wounded Warrior, 95% should go to that action, and 5% or 10% or 12%, right? Well, I want to get a clarification from Neil K. Don't be afraid to question superiority. First off, what do you mean by superiority? And two, what do you mean by question it? You can challenge authority, but you better be prepared to experience a consequence. Action, reaction. Right? A lot of people forget that there is an agreement when you have a leader, right? That's part of structure. If you're talking about just don't go with the status quo, be critical and think yourself, absolutely. Okay. Now, always question authority? No. And I'll tell you why. In the military, I was a Navy vet. We are trained over and over and over and over and over to perform a task. But what I'm not trained for is the 300 other tasks that commander understands that I don't. And if the commander is constantly having me question them, they're not going to be able to accomplish the mission. There's a level of respect that needs to be given to a person of leadership. It doesn't mean that you cannot look at those elements. It doesn't mean that you can't take those up. Maybe take those to your superior officer or your supervisor or your manager and say, hey, I don't understand this policy. That's not challenging authority. That's validating the integrity and the purpose of it. Good to better understand the mission. Yes, it's really good to have a better understanding, a whole idea of what's going on and how your position or how your role plays in that. Absolutely. But what you don't understand, and I say this to everybody, what you don't understand is what their job consists of. You only know what you're told. You only know what you're shown. And so one thing that really needs to be watched is we need, yes, think critically. Please, for heaven's sakes, think critically. If something sounds bad or something sounds questionable, ask about it. Get information. That's not challenging. That's doing some due diligence. Okay. But if there is an order that goes against everything, you have this gut feeling and you are sick about it, you feel like people are going to get hurt, then you have the authority, you have the responsibility to speak up. But not every time. Because not everything warrants your opinion. And that's just a hard, cold fact of life, folks. Your opinion doesn't matter in most cases. It's an opinion. And it's like butts. Everybody's got one. And some are better than others because some stink. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to remember that everybody has an opinion, but none of you have the same experience. None of you. Every one of you brings something different. So you know what you do? Okay. You can go, hey, Neil, I've got a problem. You said something and I need to understand this. Nick, you know what? You said something earlier and it just doesn't sit well with me. Can you do me a favor? Can we talk about this? Can we go through what's happening? Hey, Elle, you know what? You said yes to everything. Is there anything that you would say no to? And have discussions. Because this is where we get to do something that's really important. And it's the basis of what I do on my channel. Teaching. Learning. Every time somebody says, hey, I don't understand this coin. You know what? I probably don't either. But give me a little bit of time and I'm going to work through my network and I'm going to find out everything I can about that. And if it's still not a good enough answer, and you're like, well, I still would like to know more about this, then I'll go get that person and I'll bring them into the stream and I'll say, explain. And if it's still not enough, then we'll bring more people and we'll do that, right? This is how we grow. This is how we achieve. We come together. We work through differences. I don't have to agree with your opinion. We don't have to see the same thing. There was, I used to teach, not school, actually professionals, and I would walk through certain things. And there's something that I'm going to do on the channel. I'm going to kind of give you guys the heads up on this. And it's something that a professor one time told me, I want you to present to me a problem that everybody thinks is easy. Something that people have a preconceived notion of. And I want you to bring that to me. And that is going to be your assignment for your final. You know the material. I test you on it. I'm giving you an A. It's done. I'm not doing that. What I want to do is I want you to think of how you can take your knowledge and better other people. I want you to teach this. Perfect. So I took 2 backpacks. And in one of the backpacks, I put yoga blocks. And in the other one, I put bricks. And I walked in with both backpacks on my back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? I walked very carefully, pulled them off in the exact same way, set them down very carefully. They didn't know if it was heavy, if I was being slow. I set them down side by side. I chose 2 people to come up and I said, I'd like you to do me a favor. And I picked them up very slowly, very deliberately. I told them, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. And I put this backpack on one of them. And I was like, and I was whispering in their ear the whole time, this is going to be very heavy, but I do not want you to cringe or do anything. If it's too heavy when I put it on there, I want you just to do me a favor. Take a little step back, just a small step back. And then I release the pressure and put that on there. Make sure I don't make any sounds with the bricks. And then I go over and I do the exact same thing in the exact same slow motion with the yoga bricks. And I put that on their back. And then I have them stand up and down. But I told the person with the yoga blocks to stop after 4 or 5 because it was just, they were just too tired. And everybody said that the person who quit earlier was the one that had the heavier item. And the person that was the most insistent in the class, the kind of know-it-all, the be-all, there's always one in every class. And it's like, you really know that that's the one. Okay, come over here. And I take the other one off. And again, I know it's bricks. And I take the other one off and I hand it to them and I push it into their chest and bam, that ton of bricks hits them in the chest. And they're like, damn, What the? It's like you never know the load people are carrying. We can make all the assumptions we want to, but until you've carried that backpack, you have no idea what's in it. And we often, way too often as people, make assertions and assessments on stuff we do not know anything about. And if I can give you any piece of advice, don't do that. Over challenging authority puts you in that nigh untouchable, that near quality to God. And none of us are called to be judges. We're called to show mercy and grace and kindness and love and to be straightforward. But if we can't handle it by ourselves, we are not called to go blow it up to everybody. We're called to take it to the next level. The next level may be a deacon in the church. It might be your wife. It might be your husband. It might be your significant other. Maybe it's a boss. And work it up until you can find the lowest level at which the problem can be solved. To take time to think critically. Unfortunately, we don't do that anymore. Everybody wants to put somebody on blast. So whenever you're talking about situations about government or finance, or you're talking about things like that, be specific. Talk about what it is that you want to talk about. I've got a real problem with this budget deficit. Why is it that the Senate can't come to this? You know what? I would love to propose a bill that said that if you can't pass a balanced budget each year, then the people in the Senate are no longer eligible for re-election.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the merits and the potential problems with that. Right? Let's break that down. Let's dig into that. It sounds like a great idea, but you know what? You may have people who want to get rid of certain people. And so they just don't push the bill. That can also be manipulated, right? So you can't always just look at an idea and say, oh, that's a great idea. There's ways to manipulate that. You have to think about those things. So again, what's important is to, yes, challenge the status quo. Don't do things the same old way just because that's the way you've always done them. But do not walk around and think that you understand what the Senate Majority Leader is doing. You've never stood in those shoes. You have a textbook definition of what that job is. You've never done it. To walk through and say you know what the president's job is. You've never stood in those shoes. You've never been in the Oval Office. You've never had the pressure of that. You've never managed a multi-billion-dollar industry. When I was 19 years old, I was in charge of $1.4 billion of weapons. At 19 years old. And I have no idea what that budget's like. I couldn't even imagine. So be careful thinking you know how much you know. And be okay with not knowing everything, not having an answer to everything. It's okay. We don't have to be know-it-alls. We don't have to have the answer for everything. You know what we have to do? We have to show grace. We have to be kind. Because, well, no, you don't have to, but you really should. It's just important that we kind of remember who we are and what we're about. And I know I'm really philosophical with this, and this is why I was like, do you really want me to answer this? Because I don't have a popular opinion. Now, you guys may or may not know where I stand politically. Some of you may have an idea, and many of you may be wrong. Because I don't necessarily walk a party line. I look at the details and the merit of the argument and say, they have a really good idea. I don't like this aspect of it. We need to work through that. But again, it's important to understand that when you're making decisions based off of somebody else's opinion, you owe it to everybody else to show them that same courtesy and that same respect, which is why it absolutely aggravates the tar out of me when somebody says, you will call me by, or you will address me as. Now, if it's an officer and they say, you will address me as major, you will address me as admiral, you will address me as, that is their right by uniform. And if I am underneath them, I am obligated by my duty and my sworn oath to do that. Otherwise, I have to pay a consequence, right? But my grandfather taught me years ago, I don't have to honor the man that's wearing the uniform, but I had better honor that uniform. And the same thing goes with the position. You don't have to honor the person, but honor the position. Pray for the person. Fight for the person, but honor the position. And right now, we don't have a whole lot of honor when it comes to the people that are trying to lead our government. And we should probably change that. I got you. But it's just, there's stuff that needs to be said. Buy platinum. Indeed.
Well,
So I know you guys weren't expecting Frosty 101, but you know, or Politics 101 or
yeah, my. Silver price is going up, my friends. Can you believe it?
what are we at now?
52, hold on a sec. 20.
What's the general consensus of your chat on where it's going? Think it's going to come back down anytime soon, or you guys think it's going to continue to go up?
I think it's going to creep up and then creep a little down and then creep up more. And that's what it's been doing. I don't think we're going back down unless something crazy happens. And there's a lot of craziness going on.
Indeed.
Ooh, $2.50 each.
See, that just sounds wrong to me.
What?
$50 for an ounce of silver. It just sounds wrong.
Don't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so Steve LaPointe, that's something that I ran into. Tiger and I talked about that on Stack Collector. A number of coin shops here said Comsco -3 or Comsco -4. The place that I ended up doing the trade with and actually buying the platinum from, they gave me spot -250. So I did better than I would have at some of the other shops, but there are people that are paying $8 back of spot.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. So, and the problem is that, you know, unless you're a really, really large retailer, you can't, these mom and pop shops just don't have the bankrolls to just keep buying everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
They have to find a way to make that profitable and liquidate that. And so they're buying it at $5-6 under spot and selling it at or just above spot. to try and make sure they get that $5 or $6 spread, you know, so that they can pay their bills and keep the lights on. So this isn't, it's affecting your really, really large players because of the amount of money you're talking about, but it's the mom and pop shops are feeling it.
Premiums on ASEs have risen back to $7 to $8 over spot, and it's their spot, right? You know, you go to SD Bullion, they got one spot price. Hey, APMEX got another price, and they all have
Most people,
prices.
yeah, but most people use Kidco dealer price for spot.
I agree.
Yeah. It's just Kitco's usually the lowest when it comes to the standard. It's usually one of the kind of the defaults. Comsco, that's been kind of a new recent thing, but yeah, it's been it's interesting. People are just trying to find ways to, you know, match what the refiners were doing, and eek, that whole thing's a mess.
13 ASE. Wow.
Yeah, well, but you guys remember 10 years ago, $7, $8 over an ASE was nothing. You were looking at 50% premiums on some of those.
Yeah.
Right? You were paying $18 premium for an ASE when silver was $23.
Yeah.
So it's relative, you know. It's just, it's getting up there, and we're all like, goodness gracious, when is this going to end? Now, a lot of people want it to continue to go up. I don't. I think it's a bad sign for our economy.
Yeah.
I would like to see it come down and settle.
Well, yeah. By the way, just I'm hearing several reports, and one of them I like to listen to a lot is a guy named Yanasaw, and he has a small farm. He also worked up in the government in D.C. years ago, but he was talking about the beef prices, and he's not the only one, but we should expect beef prices to continue going higher, and apparently the Trump administration has made a deal with was it Argentina or was it Brazil? One of the two countries to buy beef from them, sort of like what they did with the eggs, you know, to get them in so that it would knock the price back down a bit. But then again, here's what happens: anytime we make these purchases like that, they go to our large beef dealers, and I think we have 4 of them in this nation, and they're kind of holding the reins on everything and keeping out our small farmers, and our small farmers have too many issues and regulations to go through, which some of them are good, but some of them are just silly, and yet we need for our federal government to remove some of those regulations that hurt the small farmer. And believe me,
Hey, Michael, I got to step away real quick. I'll be right back.
Sure. So what I'm saying is that the they talk about the cleaning and having the cleaning of keeping the place clean. Can you imagine how hard it is for them to keep a slaughterhouse clean with thousands of cows going through it a day? You take a small farmer. What is he taking? He's taking 2 or 3 cows to the local butcher to get it cut up. But they're telling me, well, if you take it to the butcher, you still gotta refrigerate it on your way to your customer. I go, what? Like, okay, and you got to have a special size, and all that. And it's, yeah, throw it in the cooler and get it to your customer. 40 billion. Yes, we do. We need to be pro small farm, small farmers too, because we have lots of them that would love to get into the market, but the cost of it is so crazy that they can't afford to do it. And if you try to do a like a small co-op thing where you have where you're only selling to people that are in your that are part of the, I can't remember what they call that, but just it's a small group that is in this little co-op, and they get and and I'm trying to explain this. It's like if you go into a club, you can't go into a club that's a private club because you have to buy a membership. Well, that's sort of like what they're doing with the beef, and only the ones that are part of that private club can get meat from there, and they're trying to make that real hard on them too. Co-ops, yeah, just yeah. And of course they're up there. The big beef producers are, they've got lots of people going up there and handing out money to our Congress and saying, hey, if you'll do this and that, and we'll fund we'll fund this and we'll fund that for you. Da 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 da. Yep. Always look up the facts. Yeah, we all would love that. So I expect eggs and beef to continue moving up. We got another blue bird flu going on that's going to cause the eggs to go up, and then with this stuff and the screw worm down there in Mexico, keeping us from getting beef from across that border. We don't have enough beef in this country, and we can't hardly get our oh no, fake butter. We can't get enough. We can't grow enough beef here quick enough. It takes a long time for a calf to get to the size of where it can be slaughtered. Anyways, go on there. You back now?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yep.
And you can take me off big screen. You can bring yourself up. I don't need to be big screen anymore.
Oh, if I can figure that one out, you know me. Oh, do I hit the little
Right
dot?
underneath the big picture, there's one with two windows side by side. Click on it.
Mine isn't like yours. Minimize. Is that it?
No. So on your
Three dots.
huh?
3 dots or the big.
Okay, so right down there, there's a bunch of things that run across the bottom here.
Yeah, underneath
There
of
should
the
be
picture.
one right in this area that has two boxes side by side.
Nope, no 2 boxes here. This one box.
Right under here.
There's an arrow there. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
See if that one works. Is that it?
Look to the one to the left of it.
That ain't it, huh?
It's okay. That one works. There you go.
All right. I'll learn.
And Neil, absolutely. Again, I went a little bit too far on the last end, but they're important discussions. I haven't been tracking a lot of the Argentinian thing because we've done it so many times. I've kind of just stopped looking at it.
Repeat. I missed the whole conversation over there. Yes, I can. You look at, yeah, I can have 3 people up there, 4 people. I think up to 6. Isn't it up to 6? I think. Not sure. I got all kinds of boxes sticking up down there. Uh, yeah, I think I can do that. Bait to hook. You ready? Yep, wrong one. I got to do this again. Yeah, I see that. Give me a moment. Have a little fun on a Sunday night and let the folks jump up here and chit chat. There you go. Click on. Uh, hey, Vinny G. How's it going, friend?
What's up, Vinny?
All right. Cool, Jessica. Vinny co-host over there at Morgan Silver Treasure. And yeah, he keeps Morgan in line. Morgan really needs help sometimes. He gets overwhelmed with trying to keep the thing going. Oh boy. That's not. What are you talking about? I put the link in there for Bait to Hook. If you saw it. I don't. I don't like the taxes in Ohio. They just went up 60% on 60% of our taxes. It went up, but 60% of the taxes was for the school. There we go. Oops. There you go. Welcome into the chat.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, thanks for letting me come up.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Michael? Hey, Frosty.
What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just chit-chatting in chat. Like to come up and hang out with you guys.
Good night, Steve.
See you later, Steve. Yeah, I'll be taking off here in about 30 minutes. I got 2 cars I got to get to both of our cars, both mine and my wife's, within 2 days of each other. She had transmission issues and I had thermostat issues.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Ian.
That's not good.
No, but you know what they say. It always comes in threes.
Yeah,
What's going on, Hidden?
Always.
All righty, Hidden. Have a good night.
So what's new in your world, Bait the Hook?
Oh, nothing news. We're building this swing set for the grandkids. It's crazy. We got 10 now. I can't keep track. They've been popping them out like Skittles.
Oh, well.
Matter of fact, we had both daughters in labor at the same time, at the same hospital, in the same room, and we just had to go from one carton to the other.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, not much new going on in my world. Just hanging out. Did my live stream, did my thing, and I always try to raid Michael and Nancy and try to
Yeah,
help them get some more subscribers. I do
appreciate
those
it.
social blades sometimes. Try to help move the needle a little bit for you guys. It doesn't
Appreciate
always.
that too. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on with my sub my subs is the number keeps bouncing all over the place, and I keep
It'll
saying I'm going
go up,
to
it'll go down. You know what I've learned
do.
about subscribers? The number doesn't really mean nothing. Like I'm pushing 3,000, but when I go live, I may get 5 to 10. You
Mm,
know, it's
yeah,
dead subscribers, but I mean, if
No,
that's
watch
people's
time is
goal,
way more important.
yeah,
yeah. Well, what I'm talking about though is the fact that when I go to Gmail, and that's where I have my account with Google YouTube, and it shows, oh, I had 2 subscribers in the last week, and yet my subscribers are showing 35 and 40 all the way, like 40 subscribers, new subscribers, and I'm going, huh? How'd that happen? And I'm going, what are they doing? Because I said I was going to do a goal at
it goes up and goes down.
750. Yeah, and I don't, and I want to do the 750 goal, but I don't want to do it because somebody at YouTube is jacking the numbers up and down.
Right? Yeah, that just kind of how's it work. It goes up, it goes down some. It just you need like a good strong, more than like your 750. I think you're close to it now. No, you're
Yeah,
almost 800. Yeah, you're almost 800. So
who knows? I don't know. Earlier it wasn't. Jeez. Don't worry, Passion. You can stay there where you're at. You're all right.
no, Passion, you don't have to come up. But yeah, Frosty, I was talking about when you scan the PCGS. I was wondering about Vault Box at the same time. A lot of people buy those Vault Box, the rips and stuff, kind of like a brick.
Yeah, so those they have, and I don't think I have one up here. Um, Let me see if I have one of those types of packages up here. Hold on just a sec.
But what I looked at, it says VaultBox. They don't have the scanners. They work with PCGS, and NGC. But VaultBox, they don't have the PCGS scanners in them. The VaultBox is like a mystery.
No, yeah, they have a special label. But I don't have the packaging and I don't have a label up here. I thought I did. Um, I just took all my other coins back to the my offsite because I don't keep most of my coins here. I don't want anybody having a excuse to come to the house.
Right.
So I don't keep most of my stuff at the house. I grab a couple items at a time and then take everything back. I was trying to see if I had, but I don't have any of that stuff here. But they have ones that have like the silver label, the red label, the black label, right? They're special labels. I don't think they contain the QR codes. But most of those people that do those kind of things that may have that kind of material put them in foil packs anyway. So you open the box and then you have to rip open the foil pack. So the foil pack is going to prevent the RFID from showing as well. There's other things that the Vault Box does too. They also put in, like with the
Blades.
gold ones,
Yeah.
the half ounce gold, they actually added 2 walkers. to offset the weight so that all the boxes weigh the same. Some of them have extra cards in them. So they try to do it to where they all have the exact same weight. They all have the same field distribution. None of them are scannable. Now, people were saying that they were X-raying them. I don't know how true that is.
Right.
But
But here's what happened on Vault Box. So they're limited, like so many per household, right? Like when it goes on sale online, you're only, I think, like two per household or three. But how do people end up with hundreds of them?
there's a couple of different reasons.
Like on Whatnot, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've been on Whatnot, but Whatnot's
So
another topic.
they have everybody in their family, and maybe they own a business. They have everybody in their business buy two, and that's how they do that. No different than when the U.S. Mint puts out something and you can only buy two,
Yeah.
and they have 8 people in their family all buy one. They end up with 16, right? So it's the same thing. I actually was talking to a gentleman yesterday that still has Series 1 vault boxes unopened. He has all of them. They're all unopened. He never opens them.
He never opens them. And see that
Nope.
I think the Vault Box, they have a buyback program. They'll actually buy back your coin. I think they have a website where you can sell it back to them if you get a big hit.
It's like
Trying to
Witter
pull
Brick.
something up.
Those 2 coins I got from Witter Brick, that's what they do, is they sell what they call a brick filled with very nice cat grade puts them in their own yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they got their own little. It's a mystery box. Witter. I know Seth from California. Hey, what he's doing is a good thing. He's sending a lot of kids through college. From that numismatics and getting making profit off that.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with it, and I don't agree with it. Well, again, if you're gonna take your chance or gamble, which is exactly what it is,
Exactly.
you need to be aware that 90% of people are losing $250 each time. You need to be aware of that. You spend $595, you have to understand you are going to be losing $250 or more 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So they don't really elaborate on that. They talk about the odds, but they don't ever break it down.
Yeah, all the odds.
I
Odds
think
are getting better. Odds are getting better the more that picks. And I actually looked up Whatnot. I'm a seller over there as well, but you look up Whatnot on their Better Business Bureau. They're like a minus F rating.
Ooh.
Well, because there's a couple things, and I can't stand Whatnot personally. I'll never buy anything from there. Did it a couple times to support some channels, but I will not be at Whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you put in your bid, and if you don't set your bid limit, all of a sudden you're $20 over what you wanted to spend, and you've only bid once.
Splashed at the same time. Yeah.
Right, and so very quickly you can go, well, I want to bid 15. All of a sudden you're at 35, and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. How did I get here? I only put in one bid. It also makes it really easy to shill bid because people, as soon as it comes up, people type in 40, which is the minimum price that they're asking for. And then anybody bids over it, they're getting that price plus. So it's way too easy to manipulate, and I won't use it.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people bidding over there on mystery packs as well, but There's too much control on that. Like I do my BTH series one, which has been kind of cool. But over there, they they'll keep adding packs. So, oh, there's a quarter ounce of gold. You know, quarter ounce of gold. They keep adding packs to it. They packed them. They know exactly where it's at. You know, they'll wait till the end. You know, throw it up there.
Well,
But it's
my
funny.
question is, and
Trader B got in
they have
trouble
to have a
and
way
GSS got in
to
trouble
do
with it.
this. But anytime you look at a program like this, y'all remember the McDonald's controversy,
No.
the monopoly controversy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Never heard of that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Nope. I remember the Monopoly thing, but I don't remember the controversy.
So there were two primary tickets, Boardwalk and then like Pennsylvania Avenue, were the really, really big prizes. And there was one gentleman who was responsible and had those. He would take those, they would be in a sealed envelope with the contents. He would take it to that area. They would put it in, whether it's a French fry cup or whatever it was. They would special do that and then deliver that to the store, monitor it, and then that person, whoever got that, would win. But he had concocted a really big plan of having a number of people that were basically all part of this sham, and they were all tied to him. And so what he was doing is he was paying them like 50% of the funds. He get 50%, they get 50%. And he was doing this with all these people, but all these people knew him. And after a major investigation, they found out that he was coordinating people, telling people where to go and when to do it. And then he would be at the store when they were loading those series of cups. He would stage it and then have somebody come in and order 5 extra large Big Macs, knowing that there were 3, 4, 5 spots prior to that or to that point, and they were coordinating it. He was rigging the entire thing. And even though they were happening in 3 or 4 different locations, they all ended up tying back to him, and it was a total scam. You should read up on it. It's a really, really interesting story. Anytime somebody does anything like that, I have a problem with it. Because even when the Mint did their their 250th anniversary, this one right here, the one with the privy, there are people that had to know where those were at because they also were available for bulk shipment, and they wanted to make sure that not everybody, you know, a whole box of these things wasn't sent to a specific dealer, right? So they had to know where they were at in that packaging process. There were people who had to know where those things were at. And so I won't get into the potential issues there, but I always have concerns when it comes to those kind of things because, you know, it's too easy to manipulate, and I have concerns with it. The way that the Mint did it, which is where the packaging folks were engaged, and they were mixed into however the process was, like they were manually put into things so that there were not more than 1 per 20 boxes or whatever that number was. Was a pretty good way of doing it because there were a number of people who had checks and balances. It wasn't a single person doing it. But like the people with these vault boxes and stuff, who's actually placing those items? How do you know that they have the gold still? How do you know it wasn't one of the first things that went out and somebody's just sitting on it? They don't have a really good track history with that. Like they can't explain where the things are at. So I have a problem with that. Plus, if I'm spending $600, I'm getting a 67 Morgan or something that, I know I'm buying
Right.
something.
That's what I was asking in the chat earlier. These guys buy these vault boxes. Can they scan those things and say, okay, this is this is not a big hit. We're going to put it up for high.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to scan because those things that are there, those are the ones that you have sitting in front of you. Those are all aluminum foil, basically, right? Those pouches.
Yeah, the bags.
Yeah, you can't scan through those.
I don't know. I don't have slabs in these, but I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, take.
full-
You have
full
any slabs
picture.
with you that have this logo?
What?
You have any slabs with this logo sitting around you?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay.
With my logo, BTH.
Yeah, no, just with like, do you have a PCGS slab with this RFID
Oh,
logo?
the scanner for that. Yeah, I got some in my safe.
Yeah, so you could put one of there in there and then put your phone over it. It won't scan through it. So you can't scan the vault boxes and stuff like that. Even like the Postal Mint, when the Postal Mint did their ones with the 1 ounce bars, they were in foil packs too to prevent scanning. Supposedly to help prevent X-ray people from X-raying them, but I don't know if that works or not.
XRF gun. Yeah, they could probably Sigma it too.
Not through the packaging.
No, they can't. Okay.
No. I don't know about X-ray. I don't know if you could do it for X-ray, but you definitely couldn't XRF it. Again, that aluminum shielding that's in that container is going to dispel most of the signal.
Cool.
Yeah, they're pretty smart about that. I'm not questioning their packaging techniques or their. It's how do we know that their delivery techniques are on the up and up? And when you get a company like NGC or PCGS or CAC, and they're all partnering with these people, it's again, you're entering a realm that is very questionable in numismatics.
It just seems like a lot.
At least
of
from the purist
products go
standpoint.
to the same people.
Say again?
It just seems like a lot of the products go to the same people. I see sell them over and over and over again. Like, how did you get so many of them?
Yeah, they just have people buying for them. Hey, Michael, I am getting asked by Tiger to help him. He's got a technical issue, so I've got to bail and get over and help him real quick.
All right. I think I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody too. Appreciate you coming by, and we all enjoyed you having you here and all the things we got to learn.
No worries. On Tuesday, Neil will be happy for this. I'm dropping my video, and it's going to be a platinum and palladium. It's basically a 101. It's very basic, but it's something that you guys should look at. So that'll be Tuesday.
All righty. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Neil? Yeah. Bait the Hook, thanks for coming up. Enjoyed having you up.
Yep.
Hey, there's Tiger Stacker there. We heard you put out the alarm. Help me.
Yeah, send me a link, Tiger, and I'll connect with you now.
Who's live? Anybody live, Micah? You want to go raid? I'm not sure who's still up in the coin community.
I'm gonna raid the bed.
Your pillow, huh?
Let me check. I'll see.
Yeah. I'm gonna find me a pillow to go scrunch down into. All righty, going to get what? I sent it already. Going to get pizza. Pizza. Yeah. Gosh darn it. Well, folks, appreciate you coming in. We'll see you tomorrow. All righty, Cam. We'll have to check it out. Good night, Jenny.
I don't see anybody on my end, Frosty, that I would want to.
No, I don't either. So, all right, folks. Well, you guys have a great night.
All righty. Thank you, guys. Good night, Vinny.
We'll see you later.
Good night, Marsh War. Tiger Stacker. Old cold pizza get microwaved. Woo!
Good
Oh.
night, Elroy. Good night, Sue Ann.
Good night, John Boy. Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Guys, if you're not subscribed to Frosty, guys, check his channel out. Let me grab his link real quick here.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we got some wind and rain today, but it wasn't too bad. Good night, War.
Big time. We had a little bit of rain, a lot of wind. Been windy all
No
day.
king but Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. All right, guys. Good night.